Ladies and gentlemen, friends and fellow seekers of truth, we are gathered here today to explore a profound principle that has shaped the lives of many throughout history, the principle of prayer and fasting. These two practices, when combined, hold the potential to unlock the deepest reservoirs of power, wisdom, and direction in our lives. They are not just religious rituals, but dynamic spiritual disciplines that can bring us into alignment with divine purpose and clarity. Let me begin by saying that prayer is far more than words spoken into the air. It is a conversation with the Creator, a direct line of communication with the one who fashioned us and knows our beginning from our end. When we pray, we are not merely asking for things. We are aligning ourselves with the will of God, attuning our hearts to His purpose for our lives. Prayer is a two-way dialogue where we not only speak but listen, where we not only ask but receive. Prayer is our declaration of dependence. It is the acknowledgement that we are limited in our understanding, our strength, and our vision. Through prayer, we humble ourselves and invite divine intervention, divine guidance, and divine power to work through us. But here's where the true power begins to emerge. Prayer becomes most effective when it is coupled with fasting. Fasting is more than the act of abstaining from food. It is the voluntary sacrifice of what we hold dear, be it food, time, or distractions, to focus entirely on our spiritual growth and connection to God. Fasting sharpens our senses, quiets the noise of the world, and humbles our hearts. It creates space for God to speak, for wisdom to flow, and for revelation to come. You see, fasting brings clarity. It clears the fog of distraction, silences the clutter of our daily lives, and refines our focus. When we fast, we are saying, God, I am ready to hear from you. I am ready to receive direction. I am putting aside my wants, my desires, and my physical needs to seek your face. Fasting strengthens our spirit and allows us to operate from a place of spiritual sensitivity. When we combine prayer and fasting, it's like turning up the frequency on a radio dial. We tune into the voice of the Spirit more clearly, hear His direction more distinctly, and experience His presence more deeply. It's through these combined disciplines that breakthroughs happen. Burdens are lifted. Wisdom is granted. Purpose becomes clearer. Think of those in history who fasted and prayed before making monumental decisions. They did not fast and pray for power. They fasted and prayed for guidance, for strength, and for clarity of mind and heart. In the quiet of their sacrifice, they discovered that their true power was in their dependence on God. Fasting empties us of ourselves so we can be filled with God's presence and purpose. It is also important to understand that fasting does not change God, it changes us. It positions us to receive, to perceive, and to walk in the path He has laid out for us. It molds our character, refines our faith, and teaches us discipline. Through fasting and prayer, we can break strongholds, overcome obstacles, and bring about transformation, not only in our own lives, but in our families, communities, and nations. So I encourage you today, whether you're seeking direction, breakthrough, healing, or deeper connection with God, do not underestimate the power of prayer and fasting. They are the keys that unlock the doors of wisdom and understanding. They help us navigate the complexities of life and empower us to live in the fullness of our potential. As we pursue these disciplines with a sincere heart, we will discover that the very things we seek, clarity, purpose, strength, are not only attainable, but are generously given by a God who desires to see us walk in His will. Let us commit to making prayer and fasting not just seasonal practices, but a lifestyle of surrender and spiritual pursuit. Through them, we will not only change our circumstances, but we will be transformed ourselves. Prayer is an ancient practice that has been a part of human existence for millennia, transcending cultures, religions, and philosophies. It is a universal expression of faith, hope, and a deep desire for connection with something greater than oneself. Prayer aligns us with divine purpose by creating a bridge between the human and the divine, the finite and the infinite, the earthly and the spiritual. Through prayer, individuals seek guidance, comfort, strength, and a sense of belonging, often in the context of the broader purpose that governs existence. The concept of divine purpose refers to the belief that there is a higher guiding principle or plan for each person's life, orchestrated by a supreme power, often referred to as God, the universe, or a higher power. Prayer, in its essence, is more than just asking for things or expressing desires. It is a means of aligning one's heart, mind, and soul with the divine will. It is an act of surrender, where the individual acknowledges their limitations and opens themselves up to the possibility of divine intervention or guidance. This act of humility creates a space for clarity and purpose to emerge. When individuals pray, they are not only seeking solutions to their immediate concerns, but also aligning themselves with the greater flow of life, the overarching narrative that connects all beings and events. Prayer, therefore, becomes a transformative practice that shapes one's understanding of their role in the world and their connection to the divine purpose. One of the most profound ways in which prayer aligns us with divine purpose is through the development of self-awareness and reflection. In the quiet moments of prayer, individuals are often led to reflect on their thoughts, actions, and motivations. This process of introspection allows them to identify areas in their lives that may be misaligned with their values or spiritual beliefs. Through prayer, people can gain a deeper understanding of their true selves, their strengths, weaknesses, and the unique gifts they possess. This self-awareness is a crucial step in aligning with divine purpose because it helps individuals see where they may have strayed from their path or where they need to grow. Prayer also fosters a sense of connection with the divine, which is essential for aligning with a higher purpose. In many spiritual traditions, the act of prayer is seen as a conversation with the divine, a way of communicating one's deepest desires, fears, and hopes. This dialogue with the divine is not one-sided. It is believed that the divine responds, often in subtle ways, guiding the individual toward their true purpose. This response can come in the form of inner peace, a sense of direction, or even life circumstances that push the person toward their destiny. Through prayer, individuals become more attuned to these signs and signals, which helps them navigate their lives in a way that is aligned with their divine purpose. Moreover, prayer instills a sense of trust and faith in the unfolding of life. One of the challenges of modern life is the constant pressure to control outcomes and plan every detail of the future. However, divine purpose often operates in ways that are beyond human understanding, and prayer helps individuals release their need for control and trust in the wisdom of a higher power. This act of surrender does not mean passivity or inaction. Rather, it is a recognition that while individuals have free will and the ability to make choices, there is also a greater plan at work. Prayer aligns us with this plan by reminding us that we are not alone in our journey and that the divine is always present, guiding and supporting us. Through prayer, individuals also cultivate qualities such as patience, compassion, and resilience, which are essential for living in alignment with divine purpose. Life is often unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. However, prayer provides the strength and courage needed to face these challenges with grace and faith. When individuals pray, they are often asking for the strength to endure difficult situations, the wisdom to make the right decisions, and the patience to wait for the right timing. These qualities are not just necessary for navigating the ups and downs of life, they are also critical for fulfilling one's divine purpose, which often requires perseverance, empathy, and a deep sense of inner peace. Another way in which prayer aligns us with divine purpose is by fostering a sense of gratitude and contentment. In prayer, individuals are encouraged to focus not only on their desires or needs, but also on the blessings they have already received. This practice of gratitude shifts the focus from lack to abundance, from what is missing to what is present. By cultivating a sense of gratitude, individuals become more attuned to the gifts and opportunities that are already available to them, which can lead to a greater sense of purpose and fulfillment. Gratitude is a powerful tool for aligning with divine purpose because it helps individuals recognize the ways in which they are already supported and guided by the divine, even in difficult times. Prayer also plays a crucial role in developing a sense of purpose that is grounded in service to others. Many spiritual traditions teach that one's divine purpose is not just about personal fulfillment, but also about contributing to the greater good. Through prayer, individuals often receive guidance on how they can use their talents, resources, and energy to serve others and make a positive impact in the world. This sense of purpose is not limited to grand gestures or major accomplishments. It can manifest as small, everyday acts of kindness, compassion, and generosity. Prayer helps individuals align their actions with their higher purpose by reminding them that true fulfillment comes from serving others and making a difference in the lives of those around them. Furthermore, prayer can bring clarity and direction in times of confusion or uncertainty. Life is full of moments when individuals may feel lost, unsure of their next steps, or disconnected from their sense of purpose. In these moments, prayer can serve as a source of guidance and clarity. By taking the time to pray and seek divine wisdom, individuals can gain insight into the best course of action and the direction they should take. This clarity does not always come in the form of immediate answers sometimes. It is a gradual process of unfolding, where the next step becomes clear as the individual continues to pray and seek guidance. Prayer aligns us with divine purpose by helping us navigate these moments of uncertainty with faith and trust in the process. Additionally, prayer helps individuals cultivate a sense of humility and openness to divine guidance. In many ways, prayer is an acknowledgement that human beings do not have all the answers and that there is a higher wisdom at play in the universe. This humility is essential for aligning with divine purpose because it allows individuals to let go of their ego-driven desires and be open to the guidance and direction of the divine. When individuals approach life with humility and openness, they are more likely to recognize and follow the path that is aligned with their true purpose, even if it is not what they initially envisioned for themselves. Prayer also strengthens the connection between individuals and their spiritual community. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of communal prayer and the power of coming together in faith. This sense of community is essential for aligning with divine purpose because it reminds individuals that they are not alone in their spiritual journey. Being part of a community of like-minded individuals who share similar values and beliefs can provide support, encouragement, and accountability as individuals seek to live in alignment with their higher purpose. Prayer, in this context, becomes a collective practice that not only strengthens individual faith, but also fosters a sense of unity and shared purpose within the community. Moreover, prayer encourages individuals to embrace a sense of hope and possibility even in the face of adversity. Life is full of challenges, and it is easy to become discouraged or disillusioned when things do not go as planned. However, prayer helps individuals maintain a sense of hope and optimism even in difficult times. This hope is not based on wishful thinking, but on the belief that there is a higher purpose at work. Even in the midst of hardship, prayer aligns individuals with divine purpose by helping them see beyond their immediate circumstances and trust that there is a greater plan unfolding, even if it is not yet visible. Finally, prayer fosters a deep sense of inner peace and contentment, which are essential for living in alignment with divine purpose. When individuals pray, they often experience a sense of calm and tranquility, even in the midst of chaos. This inner peace comes from the knowledge that they are connected to something greater than themselves and that they are being guided and supported by the divine. This sense of peace is not dependent on external circumstances, but is rooted in a deep, abiding faith in the divine purpose that governs their lives. Through prayer, individuals can cultivate this inner peace, which allows them to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience while staying aligned with their higher purpose. In conclusion, prayer is a powerful practice that aligns individuals with divine purpose by fostering self-awareness, connection, trust, and gratitude. Through prayer, individuals can gain clarity, direction, and a sense of purpose that is grounded in service to others and a deep sense of inner peace. Prayer helps individuals navigate life's challenges with faith and hope, while remaining open to the guidance of the divine and the unfolding of their true purpose. Fasting has been practiced across various spiritual traditions for millennia, often serving as a powerful tool for deepening one's spiritual focus. At its core, fasting is an intentional act of abstaining from food or certain pleasures designed to redirect attention away from physical needs and toward the inner spiritual self. By removing the distractions of daily consumption, fasting allows the practitioner to become more attuned to their spiritual essence, opening a pathway to greater clarity, connection, and inner peace. In many spiritual traditions, fasting is viewed as a means of purifying the body and mind. It helps cleanse not just the physical system, but also the emotional and mental clutter that accumulates in everyday life. When the body is free from the constant need to process food, it can focus on more subtle energies. This shift in focus from the material to the spiritual is where fasting's transformative power lies. Without the distraction of food and the energy spent on digestion, the mind becomes more quiet, more still. This stillness is essential for spiritual introspection, prayer, or meditation, as it creates the necessary space to hear and connect with the divine or higher self. Fasting also fosters humility, a key element in deepening spiritual focus. By voluntarily denying oneself food, a basic human need, one becomes acutely aware of their limitations. The body's hunger reminds the faster of their vulnerability and dependence both on the physical sustenance of food and on the spiritual nourishment provided by their faith or higher power. This sense of dependence nurtures humility, which in turn cultivates a greater openness to divine guidance. The ego, which thrives on control and desire, is quieted during fasting, allowing the practitioner to surrender more fully to the will of the divine. In many spiritual practices, fasting is seen not only as a way to humble oneself, but also as a form of sacrifice. The act of giving up food, a fundamental human pleasure and necessity, is an offering of devotion. Through this sacrifice, individuals express their commitment to their spiritual path. It is an act of purification that mirrors the inner work of cleansing one's heart and mind of ego-driven desires. This symbolic gesture of letting go encourages the practitioner to release other attachments and distractions that hinder spiritual progress. The emptiness left by fasting can be filled with higher truth, spiritual insights, and a deeper connection to the divine. Fasting often leads to heightened self-awareness. As the body is denied food, the mind becomes more aware of its habitual cravings, impulses, and attachments. These patterns, often unnoticed in the busyness of daily life, rise to the surface during fasting. This heightened awareness offers the practitioner an opportunity to confront and reflect on these desires, leading to greater understanding and mastery over the self. Fasting reveals the extent to which individuals are controlled by their desires, both physical and emotional. By observing these desires without acting on them, one can develop greater self-discipline and inner strength. This mastery over the self is essential for spiritual growth, as it enables the practitioner to remain focused on their higher purpose rather than being swayed by momentary cravings or distractions. In many religious traditions, fasting is closely linked to prayer or meditation. The two practices complement each other, creating a powerful synergy. While fasting quiets the body and mind, prayer or meditation directs the practitioner's focus toward the divine or higher consciousness. The clarity and stillness achieved through fasting enhance the depth and intensity of prayer or meditation, allowing for a more profound spiritual experience. In this state of heightened focus, the practitioner may feel a stronger connection to the divine, receive spiritual insights, or experience moments of deep inner peace. Fasting also serves as a reminder of gratitude. When the practitioner abstains from food, they become more aware of the blessings they often take for granted. Each pang of hunger is a reminder of the abundance that usually surrounds them, yet is often overlooked. This heightened awareness fosters a sense of gratitude, not only for physical sustenance, but also for the spiritual nourishment provided by one's faith or practice. Gratitude, in turn, deepens spiritual focus by fostering a sense of reverence and appreciation for the divine forces at work in one's life. Moreover, fasting cultivates patience and perseverance, two qualities essential for spiritual development. The physical discomfort of hunger tests the individual's resolve and commitment to their spiritual path. By enduring this discomfort, the practitioner strengthens their willpower and deepens their understanding of the transient nature of physical sensations. This ability to withstand discomfort without losing focus is a valuable skill in spiritual practice, where challenges and distractions often arise. Fasting teaches the practitioner to remain steadfast in their spiritual pursuit, regardless of external or internal obstacles. Another key aspect of fasting is the sense of purification it brings. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of purifying the body, mind, and spirit as a means of drawing closer to the divine. Fasting is often seen as a method of cleansing the body of impurities, just as prayer or meditation purifies the mind and spirit. The act of abstaining from food symbolizes a rejection of worldly attachments and a commitment to spiritual purity. As the body is purified, the mind becomes more focused, and the spirit is lifted, creating a sense of harmony and alignment with the divine. Fasting also provides an opportunity for reflection and introspection. Without the distractions of food and daily consumption, the mind is free to turn inward. This inward focus allows the practitioner to examine their thoughts, emotions, and actions more closely. Fasting creates the mental and emotional space necessary for deep self-examination, helping the individual to identify areas of their life that may need healing or transformation. Through this process of reflection, fasting can lead to spiritual insights and revelations that might otherwise remain hidden beneath the surface of daily distractions. The discipline required for fasting also mirrors the discipline needed for spiritual growth. Both involve a commitment to something greater than oneself and a willingness to endure discomfort or sacrifice in the pursuit of a higher goal. Fasting, like spiritual practice, requires focus, determination, and a strong sense of purpose. It teaches the practitioner to prioritize their spiritual well-being over immediate gratification, reinforcing the importance of long-term spiritual development over short-term physical comfort. In addition to its individual benefits, fasting often fosters a sense of community and shared purpose. In many religious traditions, fasting is practiced collectively, with members of the community coming together in solidarity. This shared experience of fasting can strengthen bonds within the community and create a sense of collective spiritual focus. The act of fasting together serves as a reminder of the shared values and beliefs that unite the community, reinforcing the sense of belonging and mutual support. Fasting can also be a form of spiritual discipline that enhances the connection between the practitioner and the natural world. By abstaining from food, the individual becomes more aware of the interconnectedness of all living beings and the environment that sustains them. This heightened awareness. The power of combining prayer and fasting has been a spiritual practice for centuries, deeply rooted in the traditions of many religious faiths. This combination, when executed with sincerity and purpose, opens the door to profound spiritual breakthroughs, a deeper relationship with the divine, and personal transformation. Prayer is the act of communicating with God, seeking guidance, expressing gratitude, or making intercessions. Fasting, on the other hand, is the voluntary abstention from food, drink, or certain activities for a period of time to focus on spiritual growth. When these two powerful disciplines are united, they create a synergy that amplifies the believer's connection with God, bringing forth clarity, wisdom, and divine intervention. The spiritual benefits of prayer and fasting have been emphasized throughout sacred texts, traditions, and teachings. In many religious contexts, fasting is not simply about abstaining from food, but is viewed as a way to humble oneself before God. It is a physical manifestation of spiritual devotion, a sacrifice that reflects the individual's desire to draw closer to the divine. In the Old Testament, fasting was often practiced during times of crisis, repentance, or seeking divine intervention. For example, the prophet Daniel fasted as he sought wisdom and guidance from God. Similarly, Queen Esther called for a fast among the people when they faced impending danger, and through their combined prayer and fasting, they experienced deliverance. One of the most profound effects of combining prayer and fasting is the heightened sense of spiritual clarity it brings. In the chaos of daily life, distractions abound, and it can be challenging to hear the still small voice of God. Fasting creates a space where physical desires and distractions are set aside, allowing the spirit to become more attuned to the divine. When combined with prayer, this heightened awareness becomes a channel for receiving divine wisdom, revelation, and direction. The physical act of fasting clears the mind and sharpens spiritual perception, making it easier to discern God's will. Moreover, fasting accompanied by prayer serves as an act of humility and submission to God's will. By denying oneself food or other physical comforts, the believer acknowledges their dependence on God for sustenance. It is a reminder that while physical nourishment is necessary for survival, spiritual nourishment is of greater importance. This act of humility opens the door to divine grace, as the individual acknowledges that they cannot achieve anything of eternal value without God's help. The Bible speaks to this in James 4:10, which says, "Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up through fasting." Believers humble themselves, and in response, God promises to lift them up, providing strength, wisdom, and guidance. Another powerful aspect of combining prayer and fasting is the ability to break spiritual strongholds. Throughout Scripture, there are numerous examples of individuals and communities who fasted and prayed in times of great need, and as a result, experienced miraculous interventions. One notable example is found in the New Testament when Jesus' disciples were unable to cast out a demon from a boy. When they asked Jesus why they had failed, he responded, "This kind can come out only by prayer and fasting," Mark 9:29. This statement highlights the fact that certain spiritual battles require a higher level of spiritual discipline. Fasting, when combined with fervent prayer, can break through barriers that ordinary prayer alone might not penetrate. The discipline of fasting also brings the believer into a deeper level of dependence on God. In a world that often promotes self-reliance, fasting reminds the individual that their true source of strength, provision, and sustenance comes from God alone. As the physical body weakens during the fast, the spirit is strengthened, and the individual is reminded of the words of Jesus. "Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God," Matthew 4:4. Fasting, therefore, becomes an act of faith, as the believer trusts that God will provide for their needs, both physical and spiritual. The power of combining prayer and fasting also extends to the realm of intercession. When individuals fast and pray on behalf of others, they stand in the gap seeking God's intervention in the lives of those who may be struggling, suffering, or facing significant challenges. This selfless act of intercession is a powerful demonstration of love and faith, as the believer sacrifices their own physical comfort to seek God's mercy and grace for others. Throughout history, there have been numerous accounts of communities that have come together in prayer and fasting, resulting in miraculous healings, deliverance, and divine protection. In addition to the spiritual benefits, fasting has psychological and emotional benefits as well. By abstaining from food or other comforts, individuals are forced to confront their own desires, weaknesses, and attachments. This self-reflection leads to greater self-awareness and emotional growth as the individual learns to rely on God rather than their own strength. Prayer in this context serves as a means of processing these emotions, offering them up to God, and seeking His guidance and peace. This emotional purification is a key aspect of the transformative power of fasting, as it helps to align the believer's heart and mind with the will of God. Fasting, when practiced in conjunction with prayer, also fosters a deeper sense of gratitude and dependence on God. As individuals abstain from food or other pleasures, they become more aware of the blessings they often take for granted. Each meal becomes a reminder of God's provision, and the act of fasting cultivates a heart of thankfulness. In prayer, this gratitude is expressed, creating a deeper connection with God and a greater appreciation for His daily blessings. This attitude of gratitude is transformative as it shifts the focus from what is lacking to what has been provided, fostering a spirit of contentment and peace. Furthermore, fasting and prayer have the power to bring about personal transformation. As individuals engage in these disciplines, they are often confronted with areas of their lives that need change. Whether it be unhealthy habits, negative thought patterns, or destructive behaviors, fasting and prayer create a space for the Holy Spirit to work in the believer's life, bringing conviction and prompting repentance. This process of personal purification is essential for spiritual growth as it allows the individual to become more aligned with God's will and purpose for their life. In many religious traditions, fasting is also seen as a way to prepare for significant spiritual events or seasons. For example, in Christianity, believers often fast during the season of Lent as a way to prepare their hearts for Easter. Similarly, in Islam, the month of Ramadan is a time of fasting and prayer, where believers seek to draw closer to God and purify their hearts. These periods of fasting are not just times of abstention from food, but are opportunities for deep spiritual reflection, growth, and renewal. Through fasting and prayer, believers are able to enter into these sacred times with a sense of reverence, humility, and openness to the work of God in their lives. The combination of prayer and fasting also fosters a deeper sense of community and unity among believers. When individuals or groups come together to fast and pray, they are united in their pursuit of God and their desire for His will to be done. This collective act of worship strengthens the bonds of fellowship and creates a sense of solidarity as believers support one another in their spiritual journeys. Throughout history, there have been numerous instances where communities have come together in fasting and prayer, seeking God's intervention in times of crisis and experiencing powerful outcomes as a result. Fasting, when combined with prayer, also has a way of reordering priorities. In the busyness of life, it is easy to become consumed with the demands of work, family, and daily responsibilities. Fasting serves as a reminder to refocus on what is truly important in one's relationship with God. By setting aside time for fasting and prayer, believers are able to realign their hearts and minds with the things of eternal value. This shift in focus brings a sense of peace and purpose as the believer is reminded that their ultimate fulfillment comes not from the things of this world, but from their connection with the divine. The power of combining prayer and fasting lies in its ability to bring about both personal and communal transformation. On a personal level, it fosters a deeper relationship with God, greater spiritual clarity, and a sense of humility and dependence on the divine. It creates space for personal purification, emotional healing, and a realignment of priorities. On a communal level, it unites believers in a shared pursuit of God's will and fosters a spirit of intercession as individuals come together to seek divine intervention on behalf of others. In conclusion, the synergy of prayer and fasting is a profound spiritual discipline that has the potential to bring about lasting change in the life of the believer and the community at large. Whether it is seeking guidance, breaking spiritual strongholds, or preparing for significant spiritual events, the combination of these two practices creates a powerful channel for divine intervention, personal transformation, and a deeper connection with God. As believers humble themselves through fasting and seek God's face in prayer, they open the door to spiritual breakthroughs, divine wisdom, and the transformative power of God's grace. Fasting, a practice observed in various religious and spiritual traditions, is often misunderstood as a way to influence or change God's will. However, this view overlooks the true essence of fasting, which is not about altering the divine, but rather transforming the individual who fasts. The misconception that fasting is a way to manipulate or negotiate with the divine reflects a limited understanding of its deeper spiritual purpose. In reality, fasting serves as a tool for personal growth, self-discipline, and heightened awareness of one's relationship with the sacred. It is an inward journey where the focus is on the transformation of the self rather than on any external force. Fasting has been practiced for millennia with roots in numerous cultures and religious traditions. In Islam, fasting during the holy month of Ramadan is a central pillar of faith, while in Christianity, fasting is a key element of Yom Kippur, and in Hinduism, fasting is a common spiritual discipline to purify the body and mind. Across these traditions, the act of fasting is seen not as a way to change God, but as a means to bring oneself closer to God through humility, repentance, and self-reflection. The physical deprivation involved in fasting, such as abstaining from food or drink, is a tangible expression of the deeper spiritual aim, the denial of the ego. In a world that constantly encourages indulgence and gratification, fasting is a countercultural act of self-restraint. It forces the individual to confront their desires, appetites, and impulses by voluntarily choosing to go without. The person who fasts gains insight into the nature of attachment, whether it be to food, comfort, or even negative habits and thoughts. This process of self-denial is not intended to punish the body or mind, but to create space for reflection and spiritual growth. When the distractions of daily life are reduced, clarity emerges. The hunger that fasting brings is not only physical. Fasting becomes a process of making oneself available to God, of opening up to receive divine guidance, strength, and love. While fasting, the individual is invited to enter into a state of heightened awareness. The normal patterns of consumption and comfort are disrupted, which can lead to a deeper sensitivity to one's surroundings, thoughts, and emotions. This state of heightened awareness often leads to moments of profound spiritual insight or revelation. Instead, it prepares the individual to be more attuned to the divine presence, which is always there but often overlooked in the busyness of life. One of the most profound aspects of fasting is the realization that it is not about changing God, but about changing ourselves. God is constant, unchanging, and unaffected by whether or not we fast. The divine does not require our fasting to act, nor is God's love or mercy contingent upon our acts of self-denial. Instead, fasting is a way of aligning ourselves with the divine will, of opening our hearts and minds to the presence of God that is always there. It is a practice that transforms us, making us more receptive to the grace and guidance that God offers freely. The transformation that occurs through fasting is often subtle and gradual. It may not be immediately apparent, but over time, the effects of fasting can be profound. The individual who fasts may find themselves more patient, more compassionate, more attuned to the needs of others. They may experience a deepening of their faith, a greater sense of peace, and a renewed sense of purpose. These changes are not the result of manipulating or bargaining with God, but are the natural outcome of the inward journey that fasting facilitates. Fasting, therefore, is not a transaction between the individual and the divine. It is not a way of earning spiritual rewards or forcing God's hand. Rather, it is a practice that allows the individual to step outside of the ordinary patterns of life to create space for reflection and to engage more deeply with the spiritual dimension of existence. Through fasting, one can gain a clearer understanding of oneself, one's relationship with the divine, and one's place in the world. This understanding is not given as a reward for fasting, but emerges as a natural consequence of the process. In conclusion, fasting changes us, not God. It is a practice that invites transformation, humility, and self-awareness. Through fasting, we are reminded of our dependence on God, our need for grace, and our responsibility to others. It is a tool for spiritual growth, not a means of altering the divine will. By engaging in fasting with the right intention, we open ourselves to the possibility of profound personal and spiritual transformation, all while recognizing that God remains constant, unchanging, and beyond the reach of our human efforts to influence. Prayer and fasting are ancient spiritual disciplines practiced across many religions and belief systems. They serve as profound tools for personal transformation, fostering deeper relationships with the divine and bringing individuals closer to their spiritual goals. The power of prayer and fasting lies in their ability to align the mind, body, and soul toward a higher purpose. These practices provide an avenue for introspection, self-control, and spiritual renewal, leading to personal and even communal transformation. In this exploration, we will delve into the significance of prayer and fasting and how these two acts interwoven can profoundly impact a person's life and spiritual growth. The essence of prayer is communication with the divine. It is not merely a recitation of words or an expression of needs, but an intimate conversation with God. Through prayer, individuals pour out their hearts, confess their shortcomings, express gratitude, and seek guidance or assistance. Prayer requires humility, recognizing the sovereignty and omnipotence of the Creator. It is an act of submission, where one acknowledges that human limitations and frailties require divine intervention for ultimate fulfillment. This act of surrender is transformational in itself because it shifts the focus from self-reliance to God-dependence. Prayer also creates an opportunity for reflection and self-awareness. As one prays, the individual becomes more attuned to their inner thoughts and emotions, gaining clarity about their true intentions and desires. This self-awareness is crucial for transformation because it allows for the recognition of areas that need change. Whether it is harboring resentment, nurturing negative emotions, or engaging in harmful habits, prayer brings these hidden aspects of the self to light. By bringing these issues to the surface, individuals can then seek the grace and strength needed to address and overcome them. Moreover, prayer is not just a one-way communication. It involves listening and being open to receiving guidance from the divine. In moments of stillness, after heartfelt prayer, individuals often experience insights, inspirations, or a sense of peace that directs them on the right path. These moments of divine connection foster trust in God's plan and purpose for one's life, instilling a deep sense of hope and assurance, which are essential for transformation. When individuals experience this sense of divine connection, it reinforces their faith and commitment to personal growth and spiritual evolution. Fasting, on the other hand, is a deliberate act of abstaining from food and sometimes drink for a period of time as a spiritual discipline. It is often paired with prayer to intensify the spiritual experience and deepen the connection with the divine. Fasting is not simply about denying oneself sustenance, it is about creating space for spiritual nourishment. By depriving the body of physical food, individuals turn their focus inward, feeding the soul through prayer, meditation, and reflection. This practice cultivates self-discipline, teaching individuals to control their physical desires and impulses in pursuit of a higher spiritual goal. The act of fasting strips away distractions and helps individuals realize how much they rely on physical comforts to cope with life's challenges. Hunger, fatigue, and discomfort become constant companions during fasting, but they also serve as reminders of one's dependence on God. Fasting humbles individuals by showing them their vulnerability and need for divine sustenance. In this state of vulnerability, individuals often experience a heightened awareness of God's presence and a deeper sense of connection to the spiritual realm. This heightened awareness can lead to profound insights, breakthroughs, and a transformation of the soul. Fasting also promotes a deeper sense of gratitude. As individuals abstain from food and other comforts, they become more conscious of the blessings they often take for granted. Each meal that is missed during fasting reminds them of the abundance they usually enjoy, fostering a sense of thankfulness and contentment. This shift in perspective is transformative because it moves individuals away from a mindset of entitlement and towards one of humility and appreciation. Gratitude, in turn, leads to a more positive outlook on life, strengthening the individual's sense of purpose and well-being. One of the most powerful aspects of fasting is its ability to bring about clarity and focus. When the body is not preoccupied with the process of digestion, and when the mind is not consumed with thoughts of food or pleasure, individuals can direct their full attention to spiritual matters. This clarity often leads to a deeper understanding of one's life circumstances, relationships, and spiritual path. In this heightened state of awareness, individuals may receive guidance, solutions to problems, or even a sense of peace about difficult situations. The mental and spiritual clarity achieved through fasting enables individuals to make more informed and aligned decisions, propelling them forward in their journey of transformation. Additionally, fasting can be seen as an act of sacrifice and purification. By willingly giving up something as essential as food, individuals demonstrate their commitment to their spiritual growth and their willingness to endure discomfort for a greater purpose. This sacrifice is a form of purification as it helps to cleanse the body, mind, and soul of impurities. The physical detoxification that occurs during fasting is mirrored by a spiritual cleansing where individuals are able to let go of negative thoughts, emotions, and habits that have been holding them back. This process of purification is crucial for transformation because it creates space for new growth and possibilities. The combination of prayer and fasting has a synergistic effect on transformation. While prayer opens the door to divine communication and self-awareness, fasting intensifies the spiritual experience by focusing the mind and body on the pursuit of holiness. Together, these practices create a powerful environment for personal and spiritual growth. The discipline required for fasting enhances the discipline needed for consistent and heartfelt prayer. As individuals deny their physical desires, they become more attuned to their spiritual needs, allowing them to pray with greater sincerity and focus. This powerful combination also fosters a deeper reliance on God. When individuals are physically weakened by fasting, they are reminded of their limitations and their need for divine strength. This physical weakness often translates into spiritual strength as individuals draw closer to God in their time of need. Through prayer, they seek the grace and power needed to endure the fast and to overcome the challenges they face in life. This reliance on God is a transformative experience because it shifts the individual's perspective from self-sufficiency to God dependency, fostering a deeper sense of trust and faith. The practice of prayer and fasting also has the potential to bring about communal transformation. In many religious traditions, people gather to fast and pray together, creating a sense of unity and shared purpose. This collective spiritual practice strengthens the bonds between individuals and fosters a sense of accountability and support. As a community prays and fasts together, they become more attuned to the needs of others, developing a greater sense of empathy and compassion. This communal focus on spiritual growth and transformation can lead to positive changes within the group, such as increased cooperation, understanding, and love. Furthermore, the act of prayer and fasting often leads to divine intervention. Many individuals and communities have reported experiencing miracles, breakthroughs, and answered prayers as a result of their fasting and prayer efforts. These divine interventions serve as powerful testimonies of God's ability to transform situations and lives in ways that are beyond human comprehension. Witnessing or experiencing such miracles strengthens faith and reinforces the belief in the transformative power of prayer and fasting. These experiences also serve as reminders that while individuals play a role in their transformation, it is ultimately God who brings about lasting change. In conclusion, prayer and fasting are transformative spiritual practices that have the power to change individuals and communities from the inside out. Through prayer, individuals cultivate a deeper relationship with God, gain self-awareness, and receive divine guidance. Fasting, on the other hand, teaches self-discipline, fosters gratitude, and brings about clarity and purification. Together, these practices create a powerful environment for spiritual growth and transformation. The reliance on God that is developed through prayer and fasting strengthens faith and trust, propelling individuals towards their spiritual goals and leading to lasting change. As individuals and communities embrace these practices, they open themselves up to the possibility of profound personal and communal transformation.